Well, hello again. We have finally received the dual gang linear 50K pots that I ordered out of Thailand. And it took less than 2 weeks to get here, all the way from Thailand. I couldn't believe it. And the order, I had forgotten actually, it was for the offering they gave us was 2 of them. So I figured, why not? You know, in case I mess one up, I've got a backup. But they sold me 2 of these, shipped them all the way from Thailand. Total cost $2.19. How the heck did they do that? I cannot figure that out. Anyway, we're going to pull this one out. We're going to put one of these in. The shaft is about the same size. The rest is pretty small. And I'm going to use the old Hakko 300 to extract the solder. I'm going to need as much length as normally I would just go ahead and snip it off close and then just bend the wire and resolder. But I'm going to need as much length as I can get because of the small body. Puts the terminals here further away from the wires. Now the top wire, not the top, but the bottom wires will be sticking out. I'm going to go ahead and take a pair of pliers and bend these terminals down. I'm going to bend them down toward the bottom of the pot, and that way it'll give me more room to solder to the top. Pretty tight squeeze in there. Alright, let me shut off channel 2. There was the weak speaker, remember? Now channel 2, shut off channel 1. I'm gonna mess around with the bass a little bit. I'll tell you what, guys, what we have here now is a repaired jukebox, okay? She's picking up records good, she's playing good, and if there is a sound difference, I can barely detect it. It turned out to be several issues, okay? One of them was this plug, believe it or not, this audio in plug to the amplifier. Underneath where the plug pins push in, when I was pushing this down in, the connector underneath up through the plastic was going down. It wasn't making total contact. So when I, of course, pulled the plug back out, it would go back up when I hooked my leads on underneath. And then I happened to notice a couple days ago, I said, look at that thing. Let me check that out. I got up there with my needle nose and began to pull it up and down and up and down. I said, oh man, I've seen that 1,000 times and I never caught that. It just wasn't that obvious. So I took some JB Quick and I put it underneath the bottom of each of the pins and glued them up and let them set overnight, and it's good to go now. Another thing, of course, was the balance control and the volume. They were both bad. And transistors. One of the transistors on here I may have had, because they're not labeled at all. One of the transistors may be in the wrong hole. So Brendan, he sent me a diagram of the original 2N109s. I took that diagram and I took this little tester that I have here that he sent me a while back. Let me get that baby down here too, since I'm always prepared. Nothing like dropping some stuff on your tubes, huh? Come on, jeez. Anyway, this little tester right here, I was able to figure out using the tester and using the original. I put all the original transistors back in, and it seemed to play a whole lot better. So I let Brendan listen to it, and I said, listen to this thing. I think it's playing great. He said, you're right, it is. We'll just go ahead and leave in the old transistors. But I don't know, the more I thought about it, I decided, nope, I'm going to test them all out here. I'm going to draw them out on paper. We're going to put them back in there. I thought I had them all set up the same. I mean, channel 2 played excellent. But when I re-put them back in, I was very careful depending on what this machine told me. And of course now you see what we have. So it was a combination of all those things. And I found a non-polarized electrolytic capacitor in place of a polarized. I don't know how that happened, or I didn't put it in there, someone else did, so I don't know if that had anything to do with it or not. And it was right in the audio line, in this audio line here underneath the amp. Well, I'll tell you what we're going to do now. As far as I can tell, there's nothing left to do. There's just nothing left to do. I'm a happy camper. I think Brendan is a happy camper. And when we're happy campers, all of you need to be happy campers. I'm just going to go ahead and tear this apart, de-rust it, paint it, put it all back together, and then throw it all back into the cabinet. And that'll be kind of a long-term project, putting it back in. I may have to make some changes. I don't like this, I don't like that, you know, but once it's all done, we'll bring you all back. So this is going to be a short video, folks. As far as I'm concerned, this thing operates, as long as we don't get a copyright strike for me demonstrating how it works with that record. YouTube is really getting weird here lately. You know, 10 seconds of a record is considered a copyright strike. I don't believe that, you know. That's the way they are. But, you know, you can't really complain. YouTube is free. It doesn't cost a penny. So if they wipe it out, I'll just have to redo it with some screwball record nobody ever heard of. Anyway, success at last. Remember what I always say. Remember, for all of you guys, in particular Ron C., who's struggling along with his record, or with his radio rather, we fix it. It may take a day, a month, a year, but we always fix it, okay? And that's exactly what we did here, and that's exactly what you're expected to do with your stuff. You are expected to fix it. One last thing, the needles on these things are in fact a little weak, but you know, it's good enough for me. I don't need $199 or $200 needles. Now if they get real bad, I'll have to bite the bullet and go for it, but right now they're playing okay enough to suit me. I'd rather use the money for something else. As long as the as long as the jukebox is playing the records fine, I'm a happy camper. I don't need excruciating volume, that sort of thing. Now there's still a couple of parts I want to change underneath the amplifier per Harry Hall's instructions. Our good subscriber Harry Hall, he said, you know, you need to change this and change that, which we will do. And then I'll give it one more test here, and if it all tests good, then we'll go ahead and slam her back into the cabinet one piece at a time, and I don't know, maybe in 60 days we'll have it all back together. Well, that's it for now, guys. It's been a wonderful trip. I'm glad we took you all with us as far as the operational side of it goes. If you didn't know anything like me about a jukebox when we started this project, and I knew nothing, if you didn't know anything and you've learned as much as I did, your brain is packed full by now. Boy, I'll tell you what, it's been quite a setup, huh? All right, until next time. Which could be quite a while now. It could be quite a while. I'm just going to start putting things back together in reverse order from the way we took it apart. You've already seen all that. There's no sense in boring you. If anything comes up that's weird or strange, I'll let you know. I'll do another quick short video, but I don't think there's going to be, unless in the process of derusting all this, I screw something up. If I screw something up, I'll let you know. Anyway, until next time, which could be a while, like I said, this is John.